Look, SpaceX is doing something right now that honestly keeps me up at night. They're building 5 launch pads. 5. While in 2025, only 2 out of 5 Starships actually made it down safely, Ship 33 broke apart during ascent. Ship 34 caught fire. Ship 36 literally exploded on the test stand. And yet here they are, pouring billions into pads, barges, production facilities. Don't get me wrong, the engineering is incredible, but I can't help asking, what happens when you've got 5 world-class launch pads sitting there, and your rocket still isn't reliable enough to fly from them?
Let me walk you through 2025, because when you look at the details, a pattern jumps out. January 16th, Flight 7 launches. Booster 14 comes back, gets caught by those giant mechanical arms. Perfect. Beautiful, even. But Ship 33? During ascent, it started vibrating at just the wrong frequency, what engineers call harmonic resonance. Propellant lines probably broke, fires started, and it burned up over the Caribbean. The booster worked. The ship didn't. March 6th, Flight 8. Same story, almost eerily so. Booster 15 gets caught flawlessly. Ship 34 catches fire in the engine compartment. Later investigation pointed to improperly torqued bolts on engine mounts. Sounds minor, right? Except these engines are generating millions of pounds of thrust. Those bolts matter. So, 2 flights in, 2 boosters recovered, 2 ships lost. By Flight 9 on May 27th, they tried something different. First time ever reflying a super heavy booster, Booster 14-2, with 29 reused Raptor engines. It splashed down perfectly in the Gulf. That's actually huge, proof that booster reuse can work. Ship 35 made it further this time, reached coast phase, which felt like progress. Then a methane leak in the pressurization system killed control authority and it tumbled into re-entry. 3 ships, 3 losses. June 18th is when things got really messy. Ship 36 was on the test stand at Massey's, preparing for Flight 10. During a static fire, it exploded. Not just failed, exploded. Took out the ship and heavily damaged the test stand. That stand's still not fully back online. SpaceX had to improvise, switching to Ship 37 and jury-rigging Pad 1 to do static fires. Launch date slipped from June all the way to August 26th. But Flight 10 turned everything around. Ship 37 did everything right. Coast phase, Starlink simulator deployment, Raptor relight in space, survived re-entry, landed in the Indian Ocean intact. After 3 losses and an explosion, they finally got a complete mission. Flight 11 with Ship 38 repeated it. 2 successes to end the year. Here's where the math gets uncomfortable. 5 flights, 2 successful ship landings. That's 40%. The boosters? 3 catches out of 5 attempts, actually better. SpaceX has basically cracked booster recovery. The ship's the problem child. And while they're working on that, they're making this absolutely massive infrastructure bet. The construction scale is honestly wild. At Starbase, they tore down the old high bay completely to make room for Gigabay. When it's done, 24 workstations versus the 6 they have now. Same thing going up at Roberts Road in Florida. And these aren't just bigger buildings, they're for Block 4 Starship, which uses an 80-meter booster. That's nearly 10 meters taller than what they're flying now. The current megabays can't even fit the next generation. In Florida, there's LC-39A, where they really accelerated construction last year. 2 more towers at SLC-37 just got environmental approval. Add the 2 Starbase pads, that's 5 total. They're building an air separation unit to make liquid oxygen and nitrogen on site, instead of trucking it in hundreds of miles. The Marmac 31 barge, they confirmed, will haul completed vehicles from Texas to Florida by sea. We're talking billions, hundreds of millions per pad, probably $500 million for the 2 Gigabays together. The ASU, barge mods, tank farms, support buildings. This is Apollo-level money, except it's private capital. Which brings me back to the question I can't shake. What are they launching from these 5 pads? Block 2 ended with 40% reliability. Block 3, the version that's supposed to fix everything, already having problems. Booster 18, the first Block 3 booster, exploded during testing. A pressure vessel failed, ruptured the whole LOX tank. They had to build Booster 19 in 26 days, fastest in program history. Ship 39 is sitting in Gigabay 2, waiting for the test facility to be fixed from that Ship 36 explosion. Flight 12 won't happen before March, maybe later. Block 2 needed 5 flights before it got 2 wins. If Block 3 follows that curve, we're looking at failures into mid or late 2026. Every failure means investigation, redesign, schedule slip. And those 5 expensive pads just sit there. Then there's the barge situation. Marmac 31 carries these things horizontally from Texas to Florida, 4 to 7 days at sea. The steel skin on Starship? 3 to 4 millimeters. Incredibly strong when vertical and pressurized, but horizontal on a barge dealing with ocean swells, salt spray, engine vibration, different stress cases entirely. 1 or 2 vehicles damaged in transit, that's months of work lost. The 2026 timeline makes this tighter. Pad 1 at Starbase is demolished right now. Launch mount gone, steel plate torn out, tank farm sections removed. Won't be back until late 2026 at best. Pad 2's almost ready, but needs testing. So, early 2026, Starbase has 1 pad. 1. Each launch takes weeks of prep, integration, testing, repairs. You're looking at 1 per month, maybe. 8 to 10 flights total from Starbase in 2026. Florida pads won't be ready until mid-year, need their own certification. Total launches in 2026 might actually drop from 2025, despite all this investment. The air separation unit shows the timing mismatch perfectly. Each launch needs 3,400 tons of liquid oxygen. For twice-weekly launches, you need about 20,000 tons per month. The ASU helps, but won't cover everything initially. They're counting on Lindy's new Brownsville plant too, due in 2026. 2 new facilities that both need to work perfectly. But if you're only flying 8 to 10 times in 2026 because of pad constraints and reliability issues, you're building capacity for demand that doesn't exist yet. What really concerns me is the strategic risk. They're redesigning the vehicle, building 2 massive factories, constructing 5 pads, developing sea transport, bringing propellant production online. 6 major work streams running parallel, each with its own technical risks. One hits a snag, the whole system feels it. This is incredibly aggressive, maybe more than Apollo, because they're self-funding most of it, and it has to make business sense. The counter-argument, and it's valid, is that this is the SpaceX way. Falcon 9's first 5 flights had 2 failures. Now it's the world's most reliable rocket with over 300 consecutive successes. Rapid iteration works. The difference? Stakes. Falcon 9 carried small satellites during development. Starship's supposed to land people on the moon in 2026 or 2027. NASA's counting on orbital refueling demos that haven't happened yet. Before you can refuel in orbit, you need consistent re-entry, reliable engine relights, precise maneuvers, spacecraft docking, cryogenic propellant transfer in microgravity. 5 or 6 major milestones still not checked off, going from 40% reliability to the most complex space operation ever attempted in 18 months? And China's not sitting still. They're targeting around 2030 for crewed lunar landing with Long March 10 and a new spacecraft. Traditional approach: design thoroughly, test carefully, then fly crew. SpaceX is iterative: fly, fail, learn, fix. Both can work, but SpaceX needs time and tolerance for setbacks. If reliability doesn't improve faster than China's timeline, they could actually land first despite SpaceX's head start. Here's what I think after looking at everything. SpaceX is betting infrastructure won't be the limiting factor once they nail reliability. They're building for the Starship they want, not the one they have. Visionary or premature? We won't know until Block 3 proves itself. If Flight 12 and the ones after it work well, this all makes perfect sense. If Block 3 struggles like Block 2, they'll have billions in underutilized facilities. Next 6 months will tell us. Bottom line? SpaceX is building tomorrow while still fixing today. 5 pads, giant factories, all riding on Block 3 delivering what Block 2 couldn't. Next 6 months show us if this works or if they've stretched too thin. I'm hopeful, honestly, but 40% isn't moon ready, not even close. So what do you think? Brilliant move or too much too soon? Let me know in the comments. If this gave you something to think about, hit like and subscribe to New Space Review. We do this kind of deep dive regularly. No hype, just what's really happening. There's another Starship video on screen if you want more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.